When you get your question on your test, hold on a second, please. When you get your question on your, come on. When you get your question on your test, this is the way it's going to be given to you like this, okay? Okay, so if x is my side, Cassie, what's the angle related to that? 48 degrees. So say x is related to sine 48. Okay? Okay, what's going to go on the right side numerator, please? Yeah, go ahead.
10 over sine 63.
Okay. Now again, if you get confused for how this is set up here, okay, whatever side you have your side length, so let's say it's in the numerator, all the numerators are going to be lengths, and then all the angles are going to be denominators. Okay, the same thing, if you flip it the other way, it's kind of wrong. All right, Hannah, how do you solve for x, please? Go ahead.
Find out better.
Nope. Okay, possible? Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be, I'd probably write it like this.
Oh, we already did.
And I'm sorry if Miss, what's her name?
Rankle.
I did it differently, okay, but this is the way I'm going to stick with it, if that's okay. Bam. Calculator time. Now, if you were saying, I don't want to do this on my calculator, I'm going to write out how to do it on the calculator. If you have a super duper calculator, like you need an excellent calculator, by the way. Yes. So I would, on my old clunky calculator, if you sine 48 equals times 10 equals divided by sine 63. That's why I do it on my calculator. Okay, it's like this. All right, actually mine would be 48 sine times 10 equals divided by 63 sine. If you're, as long as you can do it on your calculator, I know you're looking at that saying what's going on, okay, but as long as you can do it on your calculator, 10 times sine 68 divided by sine 63 on that. I'll give you all the 10 seconds to do it. Yeah, go ahead. I'll go to one decimal place. Okay, you have to. What'd you get there? Go ahead. 3.3? 8.3, that's better, okay? Okay, can somebody confirm that?
Yes.
Well, lovely. Okay, so you guys are close with this? Okay, we go on to angles. Now, if you're sitting down, yes, that's okay. We're going to do lots of practice still the rest of this week. Yes.
So, on this test coming up, because it's like cosine and sine law,
Yes.
would you say solve for x?
No, I definitely. We'll have a whole lesson. We'll have a whole lesson though on when you use what and yeah, exactly. Okay. My strategy for that is always try and use sine law, and if you can't, go to cosine law. Like the joke I always tell is like this is so easy. Like this, there's not even any work, right? Moving across. Cosine law is a little bit trickier too. So here we go. Solve for x. Solve for theta. That's a 4 is what that says. That's 4. Solve for theta. You'll be a doctor one day though, so that's okay. When I was in the hospital, I should have paused because the internet probably doesn't hear this. Okay, all right, so I'm going to use sine law again for this one. The reason is because we have pairs of opposites. If you take a look here, guys, that's why the door's always closed, but it's too hot today. Here we go. So we're going to use things that are opposite here. If you take a look, 19 and 65 are opposite. Theta and 18 are opposite, so that's going to be we're using sine law for sure. Lexi, can you recite from memory or from your page, please, what sine law is, please, nice and loud. Good, so what she said was, if you didn't hear her at the back, sine A over A equals sine B over B. Good. So what's going to go at the top left in this case, Lexi? Yeah. Close. Okay, so she said theta over sine 18. Close. The thetas are going at the top left, but only angles go at sine and cos. So it's going to go to sine theta. Okay, because angles, you know what I'm saying? Angles only go with theta for that. And sine theta goes to 18. Very good. All right, Emily, what's the right hand fraction review, please?
Sine 65 over 19.
Okay. Now, I know I'm going through this quickly because I want to get all three examples done before class ends. But how are we feeling about these things right there? We're okay? You guys did this a few days ago, right? So I need to make sure that calculator's burned. All right, Natalie, how do you solve for theta, please? First step is what?
Just want theta by itself. So you'll have theta equals 5.
I'm sorry, what?
18 sine 65 divided by 19.
Again, you want to get theta by itself, so you probably wrote this, which is okay.
And then I just, I wrote that after. Can I show you?
And that's what you probably want to get in your calculator. Now, if you have an old clunky calculator like mine, what I would do is 18 times, I do sine 65 times 18 divided by 19 equals, and then second sine. If you have a good calculator, like most people in here, you can probably do that all in one step. The question, okay, good question here. So the question was, why wouldn't it just be 18 by that whole thing? It really is. Just divide, if you think of bed mass, dividing and multiplying are the same, right? So this is just like 18 over 1. I gotta close that door, sorry. Okay, so go ahead. Let's repeat everything. Well, it is like basically okay. So what's your good question? So what you're doing is it's like 18 over 1 times sine 65 over 19, right? Right, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so then I just smush them together, right? Because when you multiply, you just multiply straight across. Right, it just means the same thing as that. You can write it like this if you want to, if that's easier for you to wrap around, you know, your head is your calc, go ahead like that. But they mean the same thing, right? Because you're just smushing and smushing for that. What do you have to, by the way? Desiree, did you get an angle for this by any chance? 59.2, can someone confirm that for me? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, once you do a few of these aren't bad, right? Like this isn't meant, see, this is what I was saying about trig, even though that first test went poorly, right? This stuff is just calculator work, right? That's all it is, right? Like you guys can do this, all right? Here we go, example 3 is going to be cosine law. All right. Now, I told you guys already this would be cosine law, okay, because I'm good like that. All right, I'm going to take this down. I encourage you to, that's all. Okay, that's all. Okay, so it says here, solve for x. Now, the reason this is cosine law, because this will get people confused about this. There's only two possibilities, sine and cos. I will always start with sine because it's easier. Like what we just did here took no brain power, right? It was just punch in a calculator and go. In order to use sine law, you have to have pairs of opposites. So x goes with 71, that's great. 12, well, it doesn't have an opposite. And 10, it doesn't have an opposite. So do you see what I did there, right? You need to have opposites. This one doesn't have opposites, so it has to be cosine law. So one more time. X goes with 71, but nothing goes with 12, and nothing goes with 10. So because of that, we have to go with cosine law. You get the logic there behind that? Okay, because that's sort of the important thing. Do you have those general? Yep. Okay, so that's no options. Okay, Karina, from memory or from your notes, can you please loudly recite out cosine law, please? Go ahead.
C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C.
Excellent. Now, what does that look like a lot? What does that look like? It looks a lot. What formula? The diagram is what you should have been saying, okay? So yeah, if you ignore this part, okay, so this does, sorry, I'm making answer those. Somebody probably don't remember that. So again, yeah, that does a lot of segment here, okay? And if you take a look, cos of 90, that's actually the ones that we're looking at. Okay, so let's start subbing the numbers here. The key part to this to knowing are the two opposites. Lindsay, what are my two opposites here? Good. So that means x is going to go on the left-hand side. Okay, so x is going to go here, that's going to be little c, and big C is going to be 71 degrees. Can you sub in the rest, please, Lindsay? Go ahead.
I have a question. How do you know which one will be
Doesn't matter.
10 squared plus 12
Yeah.
squared?
Correct. Think of it like Pythagorean theorem, right? The only part that mattered was the hypotenuse. Same thing here. Whether you do this is 10 or this is 10, like 10 squared plus 12 squared is like 12 squared plus 10 squared, right? Like they don't make a difference. So I'm going to do. So what I did was, right, in this case I had little a to be 10. It could have been 12. All right. And that worked out like that. All right, Bailey, we're going to do this out like it's your first time doing these questions. I'm going to show all my steps. There will be people in class who have a super duper calculator who can do all this in one go, and that's fine. Okay, but I just want to show it out to make sure. So, Bailey, what is 10 squared, please? That's 12 squared. What is minus 2 times 10 times 12 times cos 91? So what, remember, all those things on the right-hand side are kept by multiplying, right? So 2 times 10 times 12 times cos 71. All right, Emily, can you add those for me, please, and tell me what you got? Who's this? Hi, how are you? Hey.
I did all of those. I know it's 12.87.
Is that your though?
10.
Say hi, tell your Zach and Mr. South science. Alright, so yeah.
I got it. 12.87. No, 12.8.
But I know Caleb's on the soccer right now, so, alright?
Is that David?
Sorry?
Yeah,
Alright, so sorry, all that's all. What do you have for an answer here?
I guess.
Square equals 165.87, and then that equals
How much, sorry?
12.8.
Everyone confirms that?
Yes.
Wait, you square root that, right?
Okay, so yeah, I heard, guys, listen, oh goodness me. What I heard was 12.87, that rounded up to 12.9, which is good, okay? All right, do most people feel okay with the basic calculation stuff here? Because that's what I meant you guys to feel good at. We'll get to word problems and all that coming up. I'm going to leave you 2 questions for homework tonight to do, okay? So I want to make sure you guys can do this, all right? So here are the 2 questions. Here we go. Homework. Number 1 is going to be solve the triangle. Okay. Liam, I'd like you to remind the class, please, what solve the triangle means.
You have to do everything.
Everything, okay? All sides, all angles. Here we go. That's 59 degrees in the middle.
And that's a great
Yeah. Now again, the reason that you know you can't use SOHCAHTOA on these is what? There's no right angle triangles, right? So that's what has to happen. So number 2 is also going to say solve the triangle. Can we have used cosine law for that last question on the testing? You could have, but it wouldn't have helped you much. You could have done it like let me rephrase. Yes? No, you couldn't. You didn't have enough information. You didn't have enough information on these cosine law. You would have to know the hypotenuse of one of the triangles. So there's not quite enough information to do it here. Okay? Let's go 46 degrees, 71 degrees. So 56, of course. I'm sorry. There are 2 solve the triangle questions. So these will both be sine law and cosine law questions? Yes.
Can you just cosine and sine on a negative triangle?
Yes, you can. Okay, because if you take a look, the question here, guys, please. The question was, can I please talk for a second? Okay. The question was, can you use cosine law and sine law on a right angle triangle? Yes, you can. Hold on, I want to explain something. Don't try to play yet. Yes. Because you're solving, so I shouldn't say x. I just hinted you to find that first. You can start to solve this everything if you solve, right? So you got to solve this and this. Okay, as I yell here, curve. All right, that's not going to work for me, so I'll do it on the board here. All right, so.